Wholeness, beautiful beings, welcome to my channel. Rashida Silvertree here. Let's get into alchemy. Um, and I'm inspired by this. Know what pain belongs to you and you alone. Know what pain belongs to you and you alone. So I can say, and yes, I'll use a personal life experience from the past. Relationships are always great teachers. I will say that when you tether yourself to another being, okay, they unlock all that is healed in you and all that is unhealed in you. When you tether, and vice versa, right? You unlock what is unhealed in them, and you unlock what is healed in them. And so all that is unhealed sometimes can override and overwhelm the initial connection. It can make both parties blind to the truth. And you begin to, through this tethering, I like to call like energy cords, you can say that. But through this tethering, you have shared pain. Their pain becomes your pain. Their karma becomes your karma. Their unhealed trauma becomes your unhealed trauma. This happens. This takes place. This is why toxic relationships exist, because the toxicity is the unhealed bullcrap that you take on from another person, and the unhealed bullcrap that you give to them in return. And nothing can grow in toxic soil. Nothing can grow, but more toxicity, and which it unfortunately kills a lot of connections and a lot of relationships with people. I am all about accountability and responsibility for the self. Taking the time to identify your pain sometimes it takes a divorce, sometimes it takes a separation or a breakup for you to identify the pain inside you, right? You have to just sit with it. You have to feel the loneliness. You have to feel the abandonment. You have to feel all the lack and all the putrid crap that other people have projected onto you. It's we can map it all the way back to our mommy and daddy, right? Our mommy and our daddy carried a lot of unhealed trauma, unhealed wounds, and they project that onto you. They just do. And so then you're held accountable for the pain that isn't your own, and you carry that pain, and then and as you grow and mature into an adult, you don't know what to do with this pain. You bury it, you ignore it, and then you meet someone with this unhealed pain that doesn't really belong to you, and you project it onto them. It's a horrible disease, It's a disease of consciousness. And so with that, it's like when you untether yourself from your significant other, in a romantic relationship or a familial relationship or a friendship, you have to feel the feelings. You have to feel the feelings. You have to sit with it, and it can be very dark. Some people will get so dark where they'll try to commit self-harm, because it's just they enter into that black hole of suffering and they can't get out. Some people have seasonal depression. Some people, they just mask over it. But when you choose to meet your inner demons, when you choose to meet your shadow self, your lower nature self, it can be daunting. And this is why you need a great support system. You need great friendships. You need to hire a therapist, psychologist. Some people believe, if you're not going to take antipsychotics and antipsychotic medication to help you cope with a diagnosis of some kind, get a therapist or psychologist or counselor. Because this type of work, when you're identifying the pain within yourself, it should not be a solo dolo experience. At times in life, there are moments where you need your hand held to walk through that dark ass forest, okay? And so when you identify the pain, you then begin to know the pain, and the pain becomes less of a less of a stranger and becomes more of a friend. Maybe a friend you kind of don't like, but you become familiar enough to where you're like, oh, hi, depression. Oh, hi, anxiety. How's it going? Oh, hey, trauma from 4 years old. How are you? You're showing up today? Okay. What do you need for me to hear? Right? That takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of bravery. But I really want to emphasize, do not neglect your mental health. My dear spiritualists, the people out there that are just so high consciousness, higher self, open your crown chakra, like, chill with that and get the help that you need. Get the therapy that you need. Get the psychological evaluations that you need to make it make sense for you. Because you can over spiritualize, mental disorders or mental imbalances. At times, yes, even for me, I will over intellectualize spirituality, or I'll spiritualize the intellect. And that sometimes causes a lot of dissonance, and sometimes arrogance can come through that. Oh, I can deal with it. I got this. I'm going to go to my spirit, And you can't leave anyone out. Like, you can't leave a therapist that could potentially help you out of the dark forest, and then you can't leave out your higher power. You can't leave out, what you call God or source or spirit or consciousness. It's almost like having a spirit team, like a whole team of people in spirit and in the flesh. It's a wonderful thing to be able to have a spiritual life, but also to have that mental health check-in, right? So know what pain belongs to you and you alone. So in my I think my first spiritual, it was like my second spiritual awakening. Back in 2016, I had a massive awakening, I guess you can call it. And a lot of things just were unfolding in my life, okay? Everywhere. With everyone, okay? It was chaotic. I was not integrated. I wasn't grounded. I wasn't present. I wasn't centered. I was just like, oh, life was pulling me every way, because I was awakening, to parts of myself. And one of my connections I made with a lady, a healer, okay, she mentioned this protocol called energy recall, right? Where you do an energy recall. You recall your energy from whoever, whatever, wherever. I recall this energy, or you send an energy out that does not belong to you. Like, I send this energy, I give this energy back to sender. I give this energy back to sender. It is not my energy. Whatever is my energy remains. Whatever isn't my energy, you return back to where you come from. Because we as empaths and human beings, we take on, like I mentioned before, our mommy and daddy. Mommy has unhealed stuff. Daddy has unhealed stuff. And guess what? The sad part of it is that our mothers and fathers were also projected from their parents. Their parents projected their unhealed pain into our mother and our father. And then our father and our mother are like, what do we do with this? So then they just, projectile vomit that pain back and forth with each other. And then out of their love, or whatever you want to call it, they give birth to you. And then you, with all the beauty and all the love, they also give you that unhealed pain. And you're like, well, now what do I do with it? Right? What do I do with my parents' trauma? What do I do with something that I've never really experienced? Yet I feel like I'm carrying the weight. That should not be the cause at all. You have, as a sovereign being, having a human experience, you're not your parents' pain. You should never be your parents' pain. You're not your parents' abandonment or neglect or trauma. That's something, as a 30-something-year-old woman, I've finally, it's like I can free myself from that. You can free yourself from that. Free yourself from other people's crap. And yes, love them. Love your mother. Love your father. Honor thy mother. Honor thy father. This is not a bash on parentage. and their issues, or belittling them because they didn't know better, right? Parents do the best that they can with what they know. Really. I mean, there are some crappy parents out there for sure, which I wouldn't even call a parent. But for the ones that they give their best effort, you it's like you feel bad for them because it's like, I don't want you to hold on to this pain, Dad. I don't want you to hold on to this pain, Mom. Let me take it. And what's so funny is that when parents, they end up having a child or multiple children, children are a mirror to the parents that says, hey, remember me? Remember the essence of light? Remember the essence of love and beauty? Children, I always call children the light of God, because children are a guiding light for our parents to get out of their hell. But a lot of the time, unfortunately, children in some parents' eyes can either be a burden, or it's just too much. It takes a lot to raise a child. It really, really, really does. Sorry for the loud music. That's a bit much. So yeah. You can only be responsible for your pain. But my mom caused me. My dad did this. And now you have it. You deal with it. They can't deal with it. You can't force mommy and daddy to go to therapy with you. My mom did this. My dad did this. So this is why I am the way I am. That is a cop-out. That's a cop-out. Let me tell you and be abundantly clear with you, I have experienced, and I have heard horror stories. Okay? Of the worst that children have gone through. And I have to say, if you have gone through a specific kind of hell in your upbringing, in your childhood, you have a choice that you can make. I made my choice when I was 12. I said, hell no, oh yeah. I'm sorry, I'm silly. At 12 years old, I said, oh wow, this is life. Woo, this is dark. I sense a lot of unhappiness and sadness. And I would rather not experience what I am seeing right now as an adult. What do I need to do to not experience what I am seeing right now in my life? I made a choice. I made a conscious effort to do everything in my power to not. And did that save me from suffering and getting my heart broken and things not working out? Absolutely not. However, that practice earlier on at the age of 12 years old, when I made that very serious decision, a life decision for myself, to not be a victim of my circumstance, is one of my core foundations of being and of living. And now you can say, Rashida, not everyone's strong enough. Everyone is strong enough. Everyone is strong enough. We all have this strength in us. And we all can access it in different times. Sometimes people aren't meant to access that inner strength until they're 45. Sometimes you're 12 years old. Sometimes you're 6. Sometimes you're 75. Sometimes you're 25, right? It all comes in different, you don't find your voice until a specific time, until a specific event in your life that switches gears. And sometimes people don't at all. Not in this life. They just don't. They live a perpetual, endless cycle of suffering and being the victim of circumstance. We all can choose at any time to break that cycle. If you feel in your heart that a pain, a weight, a burden is not your own, get that off of you. Get it off. Their karma ain't your karma. This is why I emphasize how important it is to be very picky with who you choose to tether your consciousness with. Who you choose to tether your body, your physical body, your sexual energy with, your emotional energy with. When you tether yourself, especially in a romantic relationship, you take on those energies from the other person. Our family, it's bloodbound. It's bloodbound. Your mother and father are your blood. So the generational curses that they pass down to you unconsciously, subconsciously, or consciously, you're responsible and accountable, and you have to make that choice to take what is yours and leave the rest. People that you love and respect will actively project their fears, traumas, failures, setbacks, curses, lack, brokenness, poverty onto you, because they're so full of that crap that it has no other place to go but to latch onto someone else. You are the co-creator of your story. You are the alchemist of your pain. Your mommy isn't, your daddy isn't. And I keep bringing up the parents because that is your first. Your parents are your God. When you and hear me out, for the religious people out there, they get triggered. Blasphemy! Listen. Like, hear me out. The perspective of a toddler, of a 2-year-old. A mother is literally a god to him. In order for this 2-year-old knows and is aware that mommy provides the food, mommy provides the love and the kindness and the nourishment and the cuddling. Mommy provides protection when I'm scared. Mommy provides water when I'm thirsty. Mommy is there when daddy isn't around. Mommy makes me feel better. Same with daddy. Daddy protects me from the monsters at night in the closet. Daddy plays with me. Daddy feeds me. Daddy shelters me. Daddy makes sure that everything's okay and I feel safe when mommy isn't around. A 2-year-old has no conception of God or religion or spirit because they just are. Children are that. They are the embodiment of that. So they don't need, they're taught. They are programmed into this is the church you're going into. This is the religious practices you're going to do. This is who you believe in. Okay? A 2-year-old's going to scream in church on a Sunday when they're hungry or tired. All right? They're not worried about Jesus. No. It's about survival for a 2-year-old. They look up to the adults that it's a relationship they know from very young, right? But that's a perception of a child. Like everyone has placed their parents on pedestals. Mom, dad, right? Mommy and daddy. And then somewhere along the line, it changes, doesn't it? You begin to see the humanness. You begin to see the brokenness. You begin to see the pain that your parents carry. They become less and less on that pedestal and more of an equal to you. And, honor your parents. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I'm your mommy. You do what I tell you to do. That's culture. That's programming. When you begin to recognize the human inside your parents, you humanize them, but then you also see their greatness and you also see their darkness. And all the while you love them. So that's that. You are in charge. You are the alchemist of your pain. You do with you what you want, but do not cause harm on other people. I'm in so much pain. I'm gonna vomit it on someone else, projectile vomit your pain on someone else because you don't want to deal with it anymore. I've been in a relationship with a person in the past where it's like there was so much toxicity and pain in that connection where that it had nowhere else to go. And so it was, projected onto me. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't an angel either. I projected as well. But I was one that chose to do something about it and to alchemize it. Praying, meditation, talking with mentors and friends. It got to the point where I was seeking therapy. I was doing things, I was involving them in all that, meditation, all of those things to try to alchemize this toxic pain that I had, unhealed crap I had, and then the unhealed crap that was being projected. I was healing for two. That's a lot to do. When you're trying to actively work on your own unhealed bull crap, and on top of that, you're healing someone else's because they don't know what to do with it, or they won't do anything with it, but they try to get it off of them, and it never works. Heal your own crap. Heal your own shit. We're in this together. Okay, yeah. Go to couples counseling, right? Go to couples retreats. But also do your own thing too. You're a sovereign being. It's not just, I'm going to go to the retreat because she wants me to go. Eesh. If you find yourself in that kind of connection, you need to look at that. Nothing should be out of obligation. But that is the message today. Let me know what you think. Remember, you're the alchemist in your life. You're the alchemist of your pain. You're the alchemist of all the joy in your world. You're accountable and responsible for that. The whole victim mentality, this happened to me. This happened to me. So what? What are you going to do with it? Cause more people suffering and pain because you don't want to deal with it? Or you don't know how to. Most people don't know what to do with the pain. So that's how they end up hurting other people. Some people know exactly what to do, and they just don't want to because it hurts. It hurts to get rid of the pain. You get to a point in your own toxicity where it hurts to get the pain off of you. When it's at that level, like I mentioned before, earlier in this video, get help. When it's causing you more pain, to get rid of the pain, you need to get assistance. Whether you go to a shaman or a therapist or psychologist, or you have your best friend hold your hand through that period of your life, you need help. I am not ashamed to say that when I need help. I need help to figure out some of the shit that's happened in my life. And anybody I meet high-minded people. I love high-minded people that think very highly of themselves, right? Which you should to a certain extent. But some people, it's very dangerous with high-mindedness because you're just like, I'm so above suffering. I'm so above the pain. I'm so above. But then you don't do the actual work to get it off of you. You don't do the actual work to alchemize the experience. That's when it becomes very dangerous. Because then you trick yourself into believing that you're healed and that you're at this certain level when you're not. You're faking. You're faking the funk. and that will always be triggered every time you enter into a relationship, or with someone new, or you enter into a new friendship with someone. All those relationships end up unfolding and breaking down because you tell a lie to yourself that you got it, that you fixed it. Like, why, how can I say that? Because I've done that unconsciously. I thought, oh, I healed this part of myself. I'm good. I'm Gucci. I'm fine. I moved on. I am entered into a new. And it was kind of a way to lie to yourself. You know, like it lied to me, myself. I'm speaking of myself. Like, you know, and then you enter into a new relationship with someone and ooh, you're like, oh, okay. There's some unhealed stuff I need to work on. And I know that now. Healing is lifelong. And you know, this is the secret to alchemizing pain, trauma, woundedness. Becoming friends with the wound, with the trauma. Becoming friends with the experience, the negative experience. When you become friends with the things that ail you, you are healing. You become healed. Ghosts just don't go away. Demons don't go away. But they can transform into something else. They can alchemize into another version, another aspect. Not this dark, scary thing that's hiding in your closet, but something to where you're familiar. Become familiar with your darkness. Become friends with it. That is healing. We always think in New Age, specifically in the New Age community, I'm healing. Like, I'm healed. I feel much lighter. That thing didn't go anywhere. It's still in you. Did you become friends with it? Did you become friends with the depression? Did you become friends with anxiety? Did you become friends with your rage and anger? When you fake the funk and you say, "Oh no, I'm healed," you're suppressing that demon, that darkness even more. And then when you meet the right person that unlocks that darkness in you, then you're surprised that it's there to begin with. It's always been there and will forever be. It just needs your attention. I'm literally telling and sharing with you guys on how to alchemize pain. You know? Through my words. But alright. Let me know what you think and feel. And see you soon.